In May 2023, a quiet tutoring session in the city of Busan, South Korea, ended in a way no one could imagine. A young woman arrived at the apartment pretending to be a high school student in need of help with her studies. She wore a school uniform. She carried a backpack. She spoke calmly. But she wasn't there to learn. Within hours, a routine meeting turned into one of the most disturbing criminal cases South Korea had seen in years. What made this case especially unsettling wasn't just the crime itself, it was the motive. The woman later claimed she had become obsessed with crime documentaries. This is the story of Jung Yoo-jung and how fascination slowly turned into something far darker. Jung Yoo-jung was born in 1999. By most accounts, she appeared to live a relatively ordinary life. She was not widely known to have a violent history. She had no serious criminal record. But beneath the surface, there were signs of isolation. Reports later suggested she spent a significant amount of time alone, consuming large amounts of true crime content, documentaries, investigative programs, online forums. Investigators would eventually discover that she had been researching murder cases extensively, not casually, but deeply, studying methods, studying concealment, studying outcomes. In interviews after her arrest, Jung reportedly said she had become curious about what it would feel like to commit a crime. That detail would shock the public because this wasn't a crime driven by rage, it wasn't driven by revenge, and it wasn't financially motivated. It appeared to be driven by curiosity. Jung Yoo-jung didn't act impulsively. She carefully searched online tutoring platforms and contacted a woman who offered private English lessons. To appear younger and less threatening, she reportedly purchased a school uniform online. She posed as the mother of a high school student, then later showed up herself dressed as that student. This was deliberate. She selected someone who lived alone. She chose a profession built on trust. She used a believable disguise. On May 26, 2023, she arrived at the victim's apartment in Busan for what was supposed to be a tutoring session. Inside that apartment, the situation escalated. Authorities later confirmed that the victim was attacked during that meeting. After the incident, Jung did not immediately flee. Instead, she attempted to conceal what had happened. She placed parts of the remains into bags and put them inside a suitcase. Then she called a taxi. That taxi ride would become one of the key turning points in the case. When Jung entered the taxi, she was carrying a large suitcase. The driver later reported that she appeared nervous. She requested to be dropped off near a wooded area along the Nakdong River. But during the ride, the driver noticed something unusual. There appeared to be stains leaking from the suitcase. Concerned, the driver contacted authorities after dropping her off. Police quickly responded and located Jung nearby. When questioned, her explanations were inconsistent. That's when the investigation accelerated. Police searched her residence. They found evidence of extensive research into violent crimes, search history, case studies, articles about concealment. Digital footprints told a story of preparation. This was not spontaneous. Investigators concluded that Jung had premeditated the crime. As news spread, South Korean media covered the case heavily. Public reaction was intense. Many were disturbed not only by the act, but by the motive. How does someone move from watching crime documentaries to committing one? Was this purely curiosity? Was it deeper psychological instability? Or was it something else entirely? That statement sent shockwaves across the country, but experts questioned whether curiosity was the full explanation. Psychologists suggested possible factors: social isolation, obsessive consumption of violent media, lack of emotional connection, and fantasy merging with reality. Importantly, most people who watch true crime never commit crimes, so the documentaries themselves are not the cause. But in Jung's case, they appeared to become fuel for something already developing internally. In November 2023, Jung Yoo-jung was sentenced to life imprisonment. Prosecutors initially sought the death penalty, citing the calculated nature of the crime. The court ultimately chose life imprisonment. The judge described the act as deeply disturbing and premeditated. The case sparked national discussion in South Korea about mental health, online influence, violent media consumption, and screening systems on tutoring platforms. The Jung Yoo-jung case stands out not because of the scale, but because of the motive. It forces uncomfortable questions. How does curiosity evolve into action? How does isolation distort reality? And how thin is the line between observing violence and becoming part of it? This was not a crime of passion. It was calculated, planned, executed quietly, and ultimately uncovered because of one observant taxi driver. Sometimes, major cases turn not on dramatic chases, but on small, human instincts. A driver who trusted his intuition, a system that followed up, and a crime that might otherwise have remained hidden.